Okay, możemy zaczynać. Hello everyone, my name is Matt, and basically I help companies with digital analytics. So, especially with mobile analytics, which is now as important that I don't want to convince you that you should include something called mobile analytics strategy. If you are here, I assume that we all know that mobile traffic, mobile applications are so important that we must focus on analyzing them. I'll try to fit this presentation in 55 to 40 minutes so you can go for a lunch firstly. So it will be a good reason to write this presentation. Hi. Okay, I divided my speech into 3 key areas of digital analytics. First of all, I want to start with some insights about strategy, about question why we should do it, what can we measure, and why it's important. Secondly, I want to show you some tools, some implementation of analytics tools which can help you to gain, I think, valuable insights about your users, about your applications. And last but not least, I want to talk about something that I do every day and what is my specialize about the data visualization. So how to make data beautiful and meaningful for us. Okay, first of all, strategy. I believe that in every single action connected with analytics, we should start with why. Why it's important, why we should measure it, what can we do with this data, what metrics are important, and so on and so on. Most of us starting the analytics with, okay, I know this tool, I will use it, and go on, launch our app, so on. I believe that the analytics is a process. It's a strategy which can start from objectives, from asking yourself why it's important to me. And when we start our thoughts about analytics, I will cover this presentation on simply basic level, maybe a lot, some mid-level issues will be covered, but most of these cases will be basic. So when we start talking about this strategy, first of all, if we didn't thought about analytics yet, we can look for cases for good practice. We can search for something I called what can be measured, what metrics matter, what can we do with it, how the biggest companies, the biggest apps deal with it, and so on and so on. When we know these best practices, we should ask why it's important for us and find the purpose of this analytics. And last but not least, we should know the metrics and their meaning. Because sometimes one metric can be defined in different ways between different tools. I mean, for example, active user. If we talk about active user, in one tool we can talk about user that was active in last 24 hours, for example, and another tour an active user will define as a user who interact with the application less than 7 days. So one metric can be defined in different ways, and we should basically know what does it mean if we deal with these metrics. But in every single project, I specialize maybe not in app development because I'm not a developer. I code in PHP, so most of you won't call me a developer. Maybe database developer because I'm using SQL. But focusing on e-commerce, for example, for mobile web, in every project we always can find one metrics that matters, one key metric that drives our project in the right way. For example, in e-commerce, it will be conversion rate. Yes, it means how many users visited my store, my e-commerce, and place an order in this shop. If this metrics, if your key metrics isn't going in the right direction, you should take a step back and look to another metrics which are related to it, and make an investigation why this metrics, why this key metrics isn't in the right way. Okay. So if we talk about mobile analytics, we can divide it into two segments, into two categories. Mobile web analytics, where we analyze everything which is connected with mobile internet, as I said, with mobile websites, with mobile applications, and the second one, which is in-app analytics. So we cover with our analytics system your application, iOS, Android applications, and we analyze the behavior in this app, we analyze the user's profile of this application, and so on and so on. And if we look deeply in this segment, starting with mobile web application, we can talk about traffic measurement. So I believe that if you work with the business application, you mostly analyze these two areas, because okay, you want to know what your users do with your application, how they behave, are they doing what you want to do, but you also want to know how the users found your application, how your marketing works, which campaigns drives the sales or downloads of this application. So basically, you always will analyze these two areas of this digital analytics. Back to this slide. If we talk about mobile analytics, we focus on traffic. We analyze the campaigns, the traffic sources which refer traffic to our website. We focus on user profiles, so we want to know who visited my website, how old is he, is it male or a woman, or what's our users' interests, and so on and so on. We focus on conversions and events. I think the most important thing of every website, of every applications, are events and conversions based on this event. If you ask why, I will answer something like this. If you analyze traffic, you analyze users who came and who go outside your websites. If you analyze events and conversions, you analyze a real interaction with your users, with your website. And last but not least, you probably analyze content. You analyze if your website content, blog posts, product cards, so on, are interested for users. This can be also a good insight and answer for the question if we need a mobile app for our business. Here are some simple KPIs which can be analyzed in this section: sessions, users, conversion rate, percent of completed goals, percent of new users, and so on and so on. Moving forward to the in-app analytics, we can also divide it into groups. All data, all information, we can divide it into groups. First of all, we analyze the behavior in app. Yes, so we analyze the screens which were displayed, tabs, scrolls, so on and so on. We analyze also the user behavior. We analyze goals and events, same as in web projects. And what's new, we also analyze the retention, because one of the main goals of building an application is to engage users and to encourage them to use this application not only one day in week, for example, one day in month, but to use it so on and so on. Here are also some KPIs which I will show you in practice in next slides. Here we focus on conversion, on average revenue per user. So if you have an application with where the users paid for something, paid for install or paid for monthly subscription, it's the indicator that gives you information how much money average user gives your company. Okay, so this was some theory and strategy of the mobile analytics. You know now that we have various areas of analytics. We can measure not only application behavior, users behavior in application, but also mobile web and the indicators that are in this area. So we move on to the implementation section. And as I thought you are developers, so I don't place any code or any guidelines to install to include this application in your projects, let's say, because I believe that everyone can take documentation, can take how to start or how to install guidelines, and put the proper tool in your application or in your web project. I want to show you the second part of the analytics, which are interfaces and the possibilities that we can make with these tools. And I also divided to two segments, to mobile web analytics and to in-app analytics. So talking about mobile web analytics, we should of course start with Google Analytics. I think if anyone made any digital project which want to be measured, you probably know Google Analytics. It's the most common, most popular analytics software in the world. If you use Google Analytics, you will see something like this. It's Google Analytics interface, and I don't want to talk about every single element of this interface. I focused on the mobile data, mobile information which we can find in Google Analytics using it. And first screenplay shows you how to find basic mobile data connected to your site. It's a sample tracker where we measure the traffic on our website, and as you can see, without any work, you can log in and use Google Analytics. You will find a section where you can gain info about mobile, about the desktop, about devices which your users use to visit your website, and of course you can change the dimension. And as you can see, in this case, okay, this is the process. As you can see, we take a report of brand of users device, and we ask which of these two brands has higher conversion rate. Okay, maybe you can think that this difference is not as big as can make any sense, but in the next slides you will see that's important. It's simple way how to deal with mobile data with analytics. The next point is an approach where we can select a segment, which means that we select some of users that match our criteria, that match our filter. I choose here mobile and tablet device, click apply, and in this part you change your analytics to only mobile data analytics, mobile data dashboards. You can see here data connected with only with traffic that's from only for every mobile devices and only mobile devices. No data from desktop or any other devices are covered here. So if you place a segment and starting to analyzing these reports, you will find every report, every information connected with this mobile segment. Yes, so every data, every information here in this report is connected and it's related only to mobile traffic. Last but not least, think about analytics and about our approach when we analyze mobile data analytics is a comparison between mobile traffic and between desktop traffic. And as you can see, we can also use segments and compare them in one report, and we will see how our users from mobile are different than users from desktop. In this case, it was a conference website where you can see that 1 day before, 2 days before conference, we had large desktop traffic, and in the conference day, our mobile traffic grows and was a little bit more than desktop users. As I said, when we analyze this data, we shouldn't focus only on basic metrics, on basic indicators like traffic. We should look deeper, for example, and look on the events, on the interactions with our website. Although in this screen we see that desktop and mobile users are common, are mostly the same, in this screen you can see that your key metrics, which means conversion rate, which was in this case and registration for the conference was slightly different between these two segments. Okay, the next tool I want to show you is Hotjar. Hotjar is qualitative tool, analytics, and many tools that are used in digital analytics gives you information about trends, about big picture of your company, of your project. Hotjar is a tool which can be used to understand your users' behavior in the qualitative way. So as you can see in this tool, you can switch from desktop heat maps to mobile heat maps. You can you can discover which sections of your website are clicked, which sections of your website are views, and what's important in this tool and in this analytics approach, you can analyze the user's behavior of a single user. So you can record the user's screenplay, a user's visit on your website, and then you can play a video, for example, and watch how the users behave on your website. You can also make a scroll map, not only a click map, but also a scroll map, so you can discover where your users stop a visit on your website. Okay, let's move on to in-app analytics. When you are developers, probably you want to know what your users do on your website, and the first tool I want to show you is Google Analytics, and it's not a mistake. Google Analytics is used not only to cover the website traffic but also to mobile traffic. It's a piece of SDK which is placed in the source code of Google of your application, and then you can analyze the data about your application, same as data from your website. Look, you can analyze which screens were displayed by users, how the device, which device are used, and how many active users of your applications has, and so on and so on. You can analyze the real-time traffic, real-time usage of your application. So it's important, for example, when you make an update and you put it in the store, users started to use new version of application, and in lifetime, for example, you can see if there isn't any crashes or any bugs in your new version. Hey, you can see the application version which is used by a user. So if you are a developer, maybe it's important for you because you want your users to use the up-to-date application. And as you can see in this point, one day after update, only I think 55% of users updated is to the newer version. What's more, you can analyze the devices which are used, the technical issues like screen resolution, like color profile, like input, the data input sources, and also you can analyze the networks and the internet connection which is used to deal with your application. So you know if your users use your website, you use your application with 4G, with Wi-Fi, and maybe this can give you some insights to the business strategy. This is another report that covers your new users. You can see how many new users, how many new installation your application has in this case. And last but not least, but I think really important for developers, you can analyze exceptions and crashes and the stack of this crash here in analytics. I think really valuable information, especially if you want to give really good customer experience for your app. Moving forward, I think you can use Flurry in your web application, because Flurry is an analytics tool which is dedicated to the mobile apps. It covers some same metrics as Google Analytics, but there are a lot of more advanced segments, a lot of more advanced metrics, indicators, and visualizations of your users' behavior in the application. It's a screenplay from the demo account, so you can log in on Flurry, devflurry.com, and find out this reports, this information. You can see more information about your users, about their behaviors, about their profile. As you can see, this is data about your users. Yes, you know that most of your users use iPhone or iOS or Android, but this is only the data. Based on this data, you can make some information or some knowledge. For me, for example, if I know that most of users of web page, of e-commerce, use iOS or Apple devices, I can estimate that they are slightly rich, slightly they like new technologies, for example, and so on and so on. So I built some behavior profile based on data which are not related to it in the straight way. Okay, we can analyze the events in the application and so on and so on. I think we can move forward to the last but not least tool, which is Appmetrica. Appmetrica and Yandex Metrica are tools from Russian developers from Yandex, and it's often called as Google Analytics from Russia, because it gives you mostly the same metrics, the same information as Google Analytics, but in different way. Yandex Metrica and Appmetrica gives you more qualitative information than Google Analytics, because, for example, Google Analytics don't give you any information about heat maps, about qualitative aspects of your users, but in Yandex you will find some interesting information. Also in Appmetrica, also in Yandex Metrica. You should choose the tool that fits you the most. I recommend to test every tool, every single reports, and choose one which fits your needs and which basically you want to work with, because it's for you. Yes, it shouldn't gives you more problem. It should give you information, knowledge comfort with work with this data. Last but not least element of my presentation is few words about data visualization, which I specialize in. I believe that developers are experts in building apps, not in understanding users and users' behavior. So, if I say to developer, or if I say to you, we have 38,000 sessions on our website and the conversion rate is only 1.8%, you can't imagine that. You don't know what does it mean. But if we do that in this way, we have nearly 38,000 of sessions and only 1.8% make a purchase in our store. You can now imagine what does it mean 1.8% conversion rate. These are all users which go through your website, and this small orange rectangle is the users which do the action which you want them to do. I can also say that there are many referral sources that drives a traffic to your website, and if you like analytics and if you are analyst, you will analyze this table and you will know what you want to know. For example, how many users come from Facebook. But look, if I change this table and change this story to something like this, 16% of our users come from direct source, 13% comes from Facebook, 4% comes from social media. I made them in the same color to focus on social media channels in this case. Next, we have a blog, and 28% of our traffic is generated by content and users that read our blog posts. We also have some paid per click campaigns, Facebook, Google AdWords, Google Ads here. And last but not least, we have some organic search, so some organic results, which are one for visits of our website. And if you see this picture and compare to the table which I showed you, it's the same data. It's the same data set, but we visualize it in different way, and our brain can know the meaning of this data in this way. So if we talk about small absolute change of numbers, we often talk about big effect. Small change does not always cause a small effect. And look at this example. We can say that our conversion rate increases from 1.2% to 1.8%, for example, in the last month. What do you think about it? Is it good that this increase? Is it enough? Is it a lot or is it not? Yes. Is it enough? What does it mean that our conversion rate is 1.8? If you move back to the slide with the visualization of session and conversion, you now know what does it mean. But if we look at this bar, at this 1.2%, and if we look at this bar, 1.8%, and we cut the slice of the change and put it here, we can see that the small change, 0.6%, yes, if we take absolute, 0.6% is nothing for us, for our brain. But if we look at this way, we can answer the question, yes, it was a big change. It's a lot. It's a lot, because when we scale it to the big numbers, for example, to the income or to the revenue, look, with 1.2%, our revenue can be $50,000. If we made this to 1.8, it's $75,000. So the growth, $25,000 in this case. And if you ask me if is it a lot, I will say yes. The small change cause a big effect in other metric in our revenue. And that's what we do. Is sometimes we make bad decisions, and if we want to ask why we made these bad decisions, the simple answer is we focus on things that don't really matters. Look at this case. We analyze the report of mobile traffic. We focus on traffic, on sessions, on active users, and we say, hey, we have 50% of mobile traffic, of mobile devices in our store. We should put more money into campaign on mobile devices. But if we look a little bit deeper and we focus on these metrics that really matters, on conversion, on transaction number, look, here we have transaction number, only 25% of transaction comes from mobile. And if we look deeper one more time, we see that the conversion rate from mobile is less than 3 times small than from desktop, and the revenue which comes from mobile is only 18% of the all our revenue. So the last tool and the last thing I want to show you today is Google Data Studio, which is free software from Google, where you can build your own dashboards, your own visualization of data, and you can understand your data, understand your users, understand their behavior in, I think, new way, because you don't analyze tables, you don't analyze charts, you don't analyze unmeaningful rows of data. You focus on things that matter. Look at this screen. I made this report in less than 50, maybe 30 minutes yesterday. It's a dashboard for a commerce owner, let's see, where he can analyze the sales, the revenue, the income from products from his store, and with only 2, 3, 4 clicks he can filter this this report and gain information about sales, about what mobile users, for example, which are using iPhones or Apple devices buy. If you want to start with Data Studio, you can follow this link and you will get a copy of this report. If you are using Google Analytics, you can add your data source to this report, and this is really good in Google Data Studio, that you can build one dashboard, one visualization, and then multiply data sources and analyze this report. Look, this is another page of the same report, more complex, more data can be found here. Let's see, we analyze the key metrics of traffic, of conversion in the store. We analyze the demographic data, some psychographic data. We analyze the sales per device, per any technical issues. If you are a developer or designer, you can start for example, redesigning process of your website with your feelings, with your insights, or you can start it with data. You can follow trends and guidelines from Smashing Magazine, from Stack Overflow, from any other community, and you can also follow your real users, your real data, and their real needs. So as you can see, if you copy this report and follow that link, you will find drag and drop interface where with a few clicks you can make a beautiful visualization. What's worth mention, Data Studio works not only with Google data sets. So of course Google Analytics, Google Ads, BigQuery, Cloud, and so on tools from Google are supported, but you can also connect a SQL database, a spreadsheet here, and put all this data in one place. Data from transaction system, data from application, data from mobile web, and data from any other thing you think about. Yes, this is the drag and drop menu where you select a metric, when you choose the right dimension, when you, as I said, data visualization is an art. Yes, it's a process where you can answer the question why and what's important, why it's important to me. Then you can think about data sources, which data I need, which data will I benefit from. And if you know your needs, if you know the purpose, you have the data, the last step is to visualize it and to show them not only to you, but also to your teammates, to your C-level managers, and so on and so on. Because I believe that analytics is not about numbers. Analytics is about people, it's about their behaviors, it's about their feelings and their interactions with your app, with your application, with your project, with anything that you can imagine. And I think you should treat analytics like a compass, like a data decision process, like something that you can follow in taking better business of or development decisions. Thank you very much. It's you can find me on LinkedIn, on SlideShare. You can grab my email here, and I believe, I hope you will benefit from this presentation in a small piece and start analyzing your data in a proper way. Thank you very much. Okay, I think it's lunchtime, so I want you to. So, thank you, and if you have any questions, I will be here for a while here.